Okay, so I'm back out at the creek again, and this is what I was talking about. And if you look real close, you're going to see some heavy cobbles there up on the high bank, about a foot, foot and a half, foot of the water. And as you go under these roots, you'll see more and more. And then it continues all the way down there to where it turns hard left again, right there. So I've got exposed to all of this. So what I did was I came down, set up my sluice fox, a little battery, and I'm going to dig some of that out, classify a couple buckets, run through it, and see what I got. I found a few specks last time, so I'll let you know if I find anything. All right, I'm going to classify a little bit of this. Whoops. So I got a mixture of tumbled rocks and shattered bedrock. So let's keep going. I'm digging a little bit into that bedrock to get a bunch of that decomposing slate. Anyways, well, I'm stuck. You guys don't want to watch that all day. I'll get some classified down. I'll start running it in a minute. My camera doesn't die. All right. I got 3/4 of a bucket. Not easy to dig. See if we can go through and find some of this. It's really mucky. I got it kind of steep, but this thing holds on to a lot, so I want to keep it kind of steep so it doesn't build up too much. Trying out a new battery since my old one gave me nothing but grief. Seems to be leaning a little bit toward me, but not terrible. and the heavies that are just on the other side of the Hungarian riffles are evenly distributed, so I'm not going to move it. This stuff is like clay. Getting a bunch of good sized gravels out of it. When I hit clay, there's clay above it and there's bedrock below it. So, yeah, it seems like it might have some potential. There's some of the cobbles that I got out of there. Some over there. See if I can get back in on that sluice a little bit. Oops. Hold on a second. All right, let's see if that gives you a little better view. Running down the box. It's really humid today. Try to make sure I'm not in the way of humid. This stuff is goopy. So I put that big rock underneath the end there just to keep from washing the bank out. Sure would be nice if I found something decent in this. First few pans, because there's a lot of this exposed that can work. And it is real tough digging when you get in there. I mean, you got to just chip it out. I got a little pickaxe that I've been banging it with my shovel. I brought my light shovel because I had more gear to carry today. And I figured I was going to be digging and stuff. It wasn't that hard, but I brought a pick anyways. But man, it's packed in there. Seems to be running just perfect as far as the amount of the buildup I'm getting behind the riffles, the way the stuff is moving inside of the traps, and I can see it dancing on the miner's moss. I don't have any buildup. It's a little bit hot in the front, but clay ball. Don't want those rolling down. Alright, do one more screw. Make sure you're bored with that. I'm trying to learn how to make videos. I just haven't figured that crap out. I don't know if you can see inside of there, but that stuff is literally the consistency of Quikrete concrete. It is thick and hard to move. I can thin that out a little bit. It's like concrete on the bottom. I'm hoping that's where the good stuff is. But I don't want to have clay balls washing down. So I'd better to be putting soup in the sink than play balls. I don't think the surgeon's intentions for this brace are exactly what they're getting, but keeping everything good. You're like a little kid making mud pies. Hopefully there'll be something not mud inside of my mud pie fries. All right, I'm down to the good part of the bucket now. So this is why we went through all that bucket to get down to this. So let's see if there's anything good in here. It's pretty juicy. Let's see what was on the bottom of that creek. And I got that left. And I'm gonna do a quick clean out just to see if I'm finding anything. And if I got anything decent, maybe we'll do a couple buckets before I have to go home. I got kind of a late start today. So that's the cons that I got out of the sluice box. So I'm gonna pan that out real quick, get it down to just smalls. There's a lot of busted up slate in there, which is the bedrock underneath the gravels. Like I said, there's clay above it. So I'm going to pan that down to something more manageable, and then I'll get back with you and let's see if there's anything in it. So there were some nice little garnets in there, but the gold was insequential. I'm going to poke around a couple other places and try some buckets somewhere else. I think I'm just not in the right spot of the old creek because gold doesn't settle everywhere on the bottom, just in certain places. So I'm going to have to move around. I don't know if you guys can see them. There's 2 deer right there. And there's some other ones to my left, but I can't see them because they're on the other side of the knoll. But that's pretty cool. They just get to hearing you down here, and after a while they don't care. There's some more over there. I can't see them all. Anyways, that was cool for a minute. There's a little birdie. A little robin, I think. No, maybe a dove. Can't really tell. Far away. Anyways. Okay, so I took a little bit, let's see here, down the creek there. On the other side, I can't really see all the glare, but kind of over there, I'm just on the other side of the log. Went into the bank some more, so we'll see if we can find something. All right. Just had a visit from a bunch of deer. That was pretty cool. This looks way less dirty. Header box. I need to take and put some miner's moss and stuff it up in that header box, and that will even that flow out because it's coming out heavy on the ends. So everything's sort of concentrating in the middle of the indicator. You see the sides will clear off real fast, in the center it won't because the flow is whipping around there. Trying to swirl this around so there are no clay balls in there that roll down and potentially carry something out that I've been working for. I had a couple of those deer that I heard in the creek right around the corner, and then when I got over there, every time I got over there, they had taken off and I couldn't see them. I was going to try to get a shot of them walking up the creek. I think that would have been cool. Anyways, I'm going to work through this, and I'll get back with you guys if my camera doesn't die, which it usually does. By the way, peace. Getting down pretty close, maybe 2 inches of dirt left in the bottom. that much left. Maybe a little more too. Stuff is way less organic than it was down there, or than it was right there. Because I was digging right there, and it was super organic. It's so muddy and chocolatey. This stuff is a little cleaner. Which, in one way, that's good. It's easy to work with. One way, it's not good, because if it's cleaner, that means that stuff is filtered through it. So, I'm going to clear this every couple of scoops. Let it run down. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up and I'll get back to it if the battery don't die, as usual. This is what I'm running. It does look pretty juicy, but I'm just about done. So I'll let you know what I find or don't. Okay, I just got done running another bucket and down there, and just in order to fill that log, I don't know if you can see the hole I dug, but see, just on that side of that log. I don't know if you can see a hole right there, but kind of like right there is where I was digging. That's where this dirt came from. And what great timing. I just finished my bucket, and guess what happened? My battery died. Go figure. Well, I got probably 2 hours maybe out of it. Not what it was supposed to be, but anyways, I'm going to clean this up and I will let you know if I found anything. So the only really terrible part of cleaning up this loose fox, the great part is it's super light. You wouldn't think that it catches many cons, but it actually does. Real easy to rinse this off. The problem is, especially when it's new, these riffles are a bitch to get out. After you've had it a while, you can bend them pretty easy. But they're a bitch. Like I said, once you get them, once you've had it for a while, it's not as bad. But yeah, when you first start with these things, it is hell to get out. So that's the only sucky part about it. Miner's moss. And look at all those goodies. I wonder if there's something in there. Let's find out. Second. There's nothing in here. This indicator mat has super fine riffles in it. And this minus 100, minus 200 gold that I find around here gets stuck in these, and you have to use a needle, sewing needle, to get it to break out. So none of this is going back in the creek. Right here, these are the good stuff. So this will definitely get checked under my magnifying ring light. Fly poop. Some nice garnets. Oh, there's a couple little pieces. Again, nothing too great. Anyways, let's see how much stuff we made to play in. Last time there were quite a few concentrates. So when you got this miner's moss, you want to roll it every way you can roll it, because you'll put a different kind of pressure on it each way you roll it, and it will open up little cavities, and if there's tiny pieces trapped in there, it'll let them out as long as you've twisted it every way possible. And once you have, just kind of bring it out and throw it over yonder. Whoops, wasn't supposed to go in the dirt. So all that was trapped inside that miner's moss. Some silver in there. Micros. Rinse everything else off. Slap my sluice box back together. And get that miner's moss. Always make sure you have the high side of your miner's moss on these toward this end. Otherwise the riffles won't set down flat. And these things only go in one, well, you can put them in the wrong way, but they only got one right way to go in, put it that way. Again, like I said, when you first get one of these, don't expect it to go apart or together as easily as this one is. This one's got a lot of hours in the creek. So I was going to wait for a couple more days before I got out here, but it's going to rain, like I believe the next 3 days they're calling for rain. So anyways, that's what I got out of that one. So I'm gonna dump that in with my other one. I'll classify it down to 30, and then dump it in my cons bucket, and then I'm going to start packing up and heading out of here. Seems a shame, but I got no battery left, and I'm tired of panning. There's somebody with me down in the creek, other than the birds. You guys probably don't hear them stomping around out here, but I do. I've seen 3 or 4, but they're closer. They're down in the creek, I think. Where are they hiding at? Anyways, I'm gonna head on back. If I don't fall and kill myself. There's that bedrock I busted up. Took a bunch of pieces out and washed them off. I don't know if that's where I found some of that decent gold. I guess what you'd call for around here. But anyways, I gotta load all this up. Get packed out of here before it gets too dark. See, once the sun gets below the tops of the trees and those bluffs are pretty high, start losing light quick. I don't know why every time I come down to a different creek, there is always some junked out, stolen lawnmower. My crackhead steals the lawnmower, brings it down here and leaves it. So much crap in the creek. I found washers, stoves, cars, lawnmowers, fans, table chairs, all kinds of garbage in the creek. People just don't care. But anyways, I think I'm gonna call it. There's one of my tailings piles there. And then there's another one over there by the shovel. I did some there. Let's see if you can see that. Oops. There he is. I just heard our friend. Okay, right there, I took a little bucket there, and over there too. And then that last bucket came from there. That big piece of bedrock, and this is big. I wear a size 15 shoe, so that's how big it is, and it's about, I'd say, 4 inches thick. And I pulled it out of there. It was laying flat, so I pulled it out, cleared off all the clay, put it in a bucket and washed everything out first. It didn't really fit in the bucket. It was sticking mostly out, but pretty thick. Pretty heavy piece of bedrock. So I'll get home, do a clean out, see if there was anything in there worth digging. But it's all just experimenting. I just want to find a place where the gold is good enough to carry down that high banker and go through all the trouble of getting everything set up, leveled. Anyways. And that poison ivy is everywhere around this place. It's bad too. I still got it on my neck, my ear, a couple little spots. Anyways, I'm going to head out of here. Remember, bad day in the creek beats a good day on the couch every time. Can't get this on the couch. So up that way and then to the top. So I'll see you.